Hey everyone, welcome to today's live stream. My name is Shane Warren, and today we're going to be talking about mental chatter, mind chatter, that incessant voice in the head that doesn't know how to shut up. um, so this was a topic that I had thought about um, because I was trying to think of some like past experiences that I had. So back in 2017, I had attended a Byron Katie event. If you're not familiar with who Byron Katie is, I highly recommend you check out her book, Loving What Is. And she has lots of other books, and there's tons of videos of her on YouTube and everything. But yeah, so I attended her event. She has like this New Year cleanse event that she would hold where it's 3 days. And during those 3 days, like right before New Year's, you would be able to attend the event during the day, but then they also offered, if you wanted to, it was like voluntary, but you could do a juice cleanse as well during that time. And I'm one to, go all in or not, go big or go home. So I'm like, fine, cool, I'll do that. Never done a juice fast, but I went ahead and participated in that. And, they provide all the juice and everything for you there. So in that setting, doing the juice fast, attending the event, going through the work with Byron Katie, and so the event that I wanted to talk about today was during one of the breaks on one of the days. She kind of gave a bit of a homework assignment during the break to just be mindful of your thoughts during like the lunch break. And so since I was doing the juice fast at the time, during the lunch break I wasn't really gonna be eating, so I decided to go for a walk. And so as I was walking, I followed the teaching and listened to my mind and all the things that were going on. And this was an interesting walk as because normally my thoughts are going so fast and so much is going on that it just, as I'm thinking of myself, like I never paid much attention to the thoughts in my mind. I just figured that's just me. That's what's going on in here. But in this time and during this exercise, what I did is I was mindful as I was walking down the street and hearing everything that the voice had to say and providing all this just commentary. So as I was walking down the sidewalk in the city, I noticed a man up in front of me coming towards me. And in that time, like he was a little bit of a distance and I seen he was coming towards me, my mind, I noticed as I was observing it, was coming up with just all kinds of different things, trying to figure out like, oh, he's gonna ask for money or he's gonna do this or that, and just all this craziness is going on in my mind. And all that's happening in this moment, mind you, right, I'm just walking down the street, there's a gentleman walking towards me, that's all that's going on, but yet my mind has just all this craziness, like, I don't know, as far as maybe he's gonna kidnap me, I don't know. Like, it's just my mind's just coming up with just all this craziness. And then when the moment finally came where our paths crossed and he stopped to speak with me, he ended up showing me a picture. And he's like, have you seen this dog? There's this, his story was that he was saying that there was an elderly lady in his neighborhood where this dog was her only companion, and the dog was lost, somehow got loose, and he's helping this elderly lady find her dog. It was like the most sweetest thing ever. But yet my mind, during that whole 20 steps or however long it was, had all this crazy, incessant unnecessariness going on. And so I just thought that was interesting because, like I said, during that time I was just observing. So it's like, okay, well, that happened. That was interesting. So I continued to walk my walk and continue observing my mind and notice, it's talking about everything and this and, look at that. And then I continued walking. And then on my way back, because I was heading back to the where the event was being held, I ended up noticing my path was going to cross with yet another man. And then all of a sudden, all these crazy thoughts started coming up again, like, oh, and then, I started looking at how the man was dressed, and, oh, he's going to ask me for money, and, this, and that, and coming up with just all these things. So all this is going on in my mind. And again, I'm perfectly safe in this moment. All I'm doing is walking down the street. All this that's going on, totally unnecessary. And then, but I'm just observing it, just letting it be. And as I cross paths with this man, he ended up stopping me, talking to me, and basically the gist of the conversation is he was asking me if I knew of any apartments in the area that were vacant, and that he was looking for a place to rent. And just, it was, again, like, out of all the stuff my mind decided to come up with, of course that was not one of them. But if I would have just enjoyed my walk in peace and then allowed the moment to unfold, then, all would have been well. So I bring that up because that was like the first time to me that I really started to see how much is really going on in my mind, unbeknownst to me, because normally I'm just going with it. So that was my first time I just kind of like taking a step back, right, and just observing and seeing what exactly are these thoughts saying, and why are they saying it, where are these thoughts coming from. And so so that is something I recommend you doing if you've never done it before, is just to go for a walk, or if you're not able to go for a walk where you are right now, just take a period of time, and during that time just be mindful of everything that your thought has to say, every thought that crosses your mind. And you'll be shocked at how much your mind has to say for no good reason. Because a lot of times your mind is saying things that it's like, well, did you really need to talk about that? Like, it's like, oh, look, there's a tree. There's a big tree. And it's like, okay, I can see the tree. Do we need a commentary on it? And so, but I feel that there's definitely a lot of power, though, that comes when you take that time to really be mindful and observant of the mind, and not let yourself get caught up in it. Because I myself noticed that is a lot of the stress or fear or things like that usually come when I've allowed myself to get carried away by my thoughts and everything that's going on in my mind. But I have noticed that as I've been more mindful of what's going on in my mind and being more present in the moment and my body, I realize, it's not necessary for me to run away with my thoughts like that. I can just be here now and just be present and experience just so much more. Because I notice, when I'm lost in my thoughts and thinking about something that I'm imagining is going to happen in the future, or something crazy that happened in the past, like, I don't see what's happening right here and now. And in that, I end up missing so much. And it's like, when you think of just how magical, even let's say this moment right here, right now is, right? This moment is technically all that exists. Like, there's nothing that exists out of this. We can imagine a future, but we don't really know. Like, anything could happen in the next second or two, and then as we imagine, the past, like, what good is that really doing us right here, right now, in this moment? And to also think of just, how magical this moment is. And if you think of the creation of the universe and what it took for this moment to even exist on a scientific level, of like, the Big Bang and atoms and energy and stars and all kinds of just science that happened to where it took like 33, billion some odd years for us to be right here, right now, in this moment. Like, that's crazy. But yet we miss that magic of the here and now, because we allow our mind to just run away into things that are not here in this moment. And I have learned that the mind is very powerful, right? The mind has done amazing things. The mind is what has created, right, the technology to where you're even able to view me right now, on your phone or computer screen. And so the mind has its place, but I think there's so much power that comes when we learn to really kind of use the mind for the right task. So, in my example where I'm just going for a walk, I didn't really need my mind to be doing all the things that it was doing. I was just going for a casual walk. Like, it would have been nice to have that walk in peace. And so that's just something that I have been learning, and it's definitely it is a process, right? For me personally, like I have moments where I feel like I am in that here and now bliss moment. Like I mentioned in some of the past live streams where I'm like on a walk on a trail, and there's magical stuff happening, and I don't know, rabbits are stopping right in front of me. And I don't know, I have those moments where I just feel so just in the moment, but then I have other times where I know my mind is just running a million miles away. And I just get so carried away. So yeah, so I guess what I really want to share in this video was just, if you haven't taken that time just to just be observant, and also to be loving, and to not be, like I said, to be, how do I want to phrase it? So when you're observing your thoughts, to not be, I guess, angry or upset with the thoughts, but then to just kind of see them for what they are, and to love them. So as they come up, and as I talk about my mind, going off on all these crazy tangents, I now can see that with a sense of love, and just know, like, it's, almost like just a little 2-year-old just kind of going off, and it's like, okay. And just being able to just love that part of myself. And then as you do that and are not so what I have noticed is as I'm not so resistant towards the thoughts as they're coming up, that's where I'm starting to find more peace within, and to find more calm moments, and to be more, like I said, just in my body, and be more present and in the current moment. So yeah. And oh, I would say a really good book also, along with, like I said, Byron Katie, is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I feel that book, he does a really good job at really explaining what the voice is, and pointing out the voice, and just all the crazy things that voice does. And then he also does really good at explaining, why we have the voice in the first place, and how to better utilize it, and to incorporate things to be more present in this, like I said, this magical moment that we have right now, that took 33 some odd billion years to even exist. And it is interesting, right? Because it's like we didn't really it's I'm actually at a loss for words. It's just, it's amazing just how magical, right? This whole, I say the universe, but even just Earth, right? The fact of how perfectly Earth works, and the Earth managed to come up with a system to irrigate water to where it can take water from one place and then magically pull it into the air, and then pour it onto other parts of the Earth. So there's just so much magic in life that we tend to miss, when we get caught up in our imagination into things that 9 times out of 10 will never even happen, right? As going back again to my example of me on that walk, where my mind is imagining all these things that had nothing to do with the current moment. And in that, I was missing what was there in front of me. So yeah, so that's about, I guess, my spiel on that, and just something that I've been learning to be more mindful, and to be more aware. So yeah, let me go ahead and hop in, say hi to everyone here in the chat. Hey, Pillar of Light. See, we got VAP, and the bass dangle. All right, hey guys. Appreciate everyone hopping on. Yeah, and of course, always let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what your experience has been. How have you been handling the voice that you have to live with, your inner roommate, as Michael Singer puts it in his book. And yeah, so let me know of any questions. And I'm doing these live streams every day, as I previously mentioned. So also let me know if you have any requests or any questions or topics you want me to cover. moving forward. I highly appreciate it. And again, I just always want to say thank you for just the love and support that everyone has been offering me, as this has been quite a challenge to for me to step outside of my comfort zone and to be here in front of the camera. But even this is me learning to be mindful in this, because that fear or that nervousness that I feel for being on camera is because of thoughts and mind chatter and me wondering, like trying to control things. And so I'm learning that, all I do is there's nothing to be afraid of, right? I'm just here in front of a camera, I turn it on, and that's that. But it is interesting, right, with all these different scenarios when we try to step outside of our comfort zone, is we end up facing that fear that comes up with all these different thoughts. And if you follow the thought far enough, somehow your mind thinks that you doing this thing that is outside of what you normally do is death. And so it is interesting going through life and doing things that push you beyond, and only to realize, like, oh, I didn't die from doing this. What was all that fear for? But yeah, so that's all I have today. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate all the love, and I will see you tomorrow. Love you.